Let's talk about it with us right now. Maybe tears or laughs out loud. Let's make a difference as we speak through conversation for our future and future generations. Let's talk about it.
Hey, Ousters.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everyone.
We're back. We're getting closer to that season finale. Can you believe it?
You know, all good things must come to an end, you know. But I'm excited at the same time because even though season 4 is coming to this wrap up, we still have our most recent project, which we'll be working on season 2 of that, which is the This Is Us project, you know. So even though this is coming to a close, we're still going to be celebrating a lot of people of color for our season 2 of This Is Us. So I'm disappointed about this ending, but we'll still be doing the lives. So we'll still be having content for Oust, but we will be having the This Is Us only on YouTube. Only on YouTube. Everything else you can find wherever you get your podcast, but except This Is Us. This Is Us is strictly to the YouTube.
Oust Now, This Is Us really is a great passion project for us. And with season 2, it's going to be about the men because it was ladies first. And season 2 is going to be men's next. I don't know. But we're going to highlight the men.
And it's not that there was an afterthought at all. That's not what it was. It was, I believe, when we had started the first season of the This Is Us, it was around, correct me if I'm wrong. What was it around? Was it around like Mother's Day, or it was something that was around women? I can't remember what it was. And that's the reason why that was part of it. Am I correct? Wasn't it some reason why we did?
Yeah, because I think it felt a little bit, it was about January, February last year, right? Roughly. And that
I might
might have
have
been
my
about the
notes.
time that they fully repealed Roe v. Wade. And it just started to feel as if, I could be wrong about the timing, but it feels like they're trying to make it harder for women to make decisions about their own body and what's right or what's not right for them. And it just really felt fitting to be ladies first. As a matter of fact, that's how it should be anyway.
Period.
We treat our women's men, for you, treat our women's the right way. And just because you don't have a vagina doesn't mean that you should say how we should operate with them. Just saying.
What? I
'Cause it
think that
kinda
is
feels like,
definitely worthy of a sip.
I'm just saying. I mean, not for nothing. I have this genuine feeling that there are some men, not all men, but I think that there are some men out there that just feel like, we won't go down the rabbit hole, but I'm like, you seem really vested in saying, or dictating, not saying, dictating what women should not do. And I feel like you must really want to live in our bodies to feel like you have the say so. So it sounds like you are jealous as F.
Yep. What did I say? It was like, oh, you want vagina. You don't want the vagina. You want
Well,
the
go ahead and
vagina.
just transition shit and be
Girl,
it.
I mean, go ahead, homie. I mean,
Denial just ain't a river.
anything's possible now, right? Anything.
Like, let's just say how you really feel and be what you really feel, because it seems like you're not comfortable in your own body if you have to say how someone else.
should or should it not. You're right.
Obviously, there's more to it because it was a very thoughtful process, and that was one part of it. But I think the other part of it is it did kind of feel as if there was this move towards like erasing some of our history, Black history specifically. So it was kind of like, well, let's tie in those two things with ladies first, and let's remind people of the contribution that our people, our women, have contributed to society, whether you recognize it or not, acknowledge it. We have contributed so much, if not more, than what has been expected. I'm not, do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Our
Okay.
contribution to this society has so greatly impacted, and not us specifically, but our culture has, and us too, fuck that, in a way. Like, even if you look at the modern day EMS system, 911 and stuff like that, that original process was invented from the Black community. Well, people don't know this. Like, the Black community developed a way, yes, and I forget the name of it. I was watching The Pit, and they were talking, they alluded to it in an episode, and I actually Googled it, I looked it up, and I was like, oh my God. It's every, there's so many things that we use and do now, like the stop and go system, the light system, even down to like the folding chair. There's shit that we use today, even modern medicine, like the cleanliness, keeping your asses clean so you
We
can
know about
prevent disease.
we
That
know
came
about them
from
fold we know about them folding chairs.
our favorite thing. It's funny how the folding chair created by was led to a big old smackdown and brawling mama. If you haven't, go back to season 3 or 2 where we talk brawling Bama, because that was quite funny.
Girl, I love that
Doing the
one.
whole episode.
You add that to your
um,
favorites.
okay.
Girl, yes.
So like, well, there's people out there who would like to erase that, ignore it, and take that away. We decided, well, we're gonna acknowledge it even more. Since you want to try to make shit pretend like it didn't happen or don't exist, guess what? We're just gonna smash it in your fucking faces every opportunity that we get. Nice.
And that's kinda where, This Is Us kind of resonated. I feel like that's why the idea was such an awesome idea. I'm so happy that it kinda hit your spirit, 'cause I was like, "Yo, that's real stuff, like, that's real facts." Like,
Yeah.
if we don't teach it to each other, or especially to our children, our future generations,
Yeah.
we can't rely on anybody else to do it. We have to do it as a society, as a community, as parents. Um,
Absolutely.
and so that's why the This Is Us of Our Snap podcast is so important to us. Um, and we're hoping that it doesn't just become important to us. We're hoping that it'll take off and, branch off just like Ouse is Now podcast.
Yeah.
But maybe even on a bigger scale,
Yeah.
So um again, even though season 4 is ending, don't forget that This Is Us season 2 is definitely coming shortly after. Um
Yes.
yeah,
And today,
girl. I think we've been holding on to this one, right?
yeah.
We've been holding on to this one for a minute, right?
Since about the
Uh,
holidays, roughly.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Since the
yeah.
holidays, you can hold on this one.
So, yeah. We talked about this, and I think this is something that we have experienced. I don't know about you. I know I've experienced it. Unfortunately, my kids have experienced it on a level. Maybe not to this level, and that's probably because of what we're gonna get into, is because I wasn't allowing it. I'm not putting them in that situation,
Hmm.
which unfortunately is some of the backlash that this mother got.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's hit it.
Yeah.
Let's hit it real quick.
one. Stop. I'll have to buy it for you. Just stop. Just stop. I know. I know. I'm trying to be grateful, but like. I know you are. I'll see how much it is online. He has every right to act like that. That one. Stop. I'll have to buy it for you. Just stop. Stop. I know. I know. I'm trying to be grateful, but like. I know you are. I'll see how much it is online. He has every right to act like that. That one.
So,
I'll have to buy it for you. Just stop. Stop. I know.
so your cousins get double the gifts than you, and they get better quality items.
I think I think what it was I think the sincerity and the reasoning behind maybe the recording is what got her the backlash. But I feel like some of it was a little unwarranted only because even though I personally would not have recorded that, like I wouldn't even been in the room. That's first. I don't feel like in the day and the age that we live in of media and social media and people airing everything out, I don't feel like they were really fair as far as judging her for the video. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like I personally would not have done it without a doubt. I, I wouldn't have. I would have out of politely and we talked about this before we got on here, but like I would have politely been like, "Oh, this was nice. Thanks. I'm out." I would have did that. I wouldn't have recorded it, but I don't feel like it was really necessary for people to judge her that harshly, even though I agree with some of the comments. Some of the comments, although I felt was kind of mean, it was really honest. Like, is this the first time that you realized that your child is not being treated like everybody else? Probably not. You probably seen this before and you still put yourself in that situation. But I still feel like this is not an uncommon thing.
it's not.
And not just the favoritism, but people airing out the things that are going on in their life for social media. And we talked about this. We talked about this in other episodes. Um, we some of the content that we have, we wouldn't have if it wasn't for people that are willing to share and be that vulnerable to let you see, hey, this is what happened this holiday, or this is what happened in my relationship with this guy, or this is what happened um um this is what happened to me when I was in a relationship with abuse, or this is what happened to me when I was being treated right. A lot of the content that or the things that we see is from people being willing to share what's going on behind the scenes. And way before social media, there was always media.
Hmm.
It was always an avenue to do it. This is just a different way. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like some of the backlash, I get it, but yeah, leave her
I mean,
alone. This is what everybody's doing, and now I don't know. I feel like so what? Everybody else is doing it, but y'all judging her so harshly
but
for
yeah,
doing the
because
same thing.
I have to admit I was judging because I'm like, I understand as a parent you feeling uncomfortable with this situation, but one, I doubt this is something, if this is happening now, it's probably happened before, but then you willingly put your child in the situation to experience that, like you said. But also, you weren't doing a video of yourself feeling uncomfortable with the situation. You put your child, who has no way to consent because they are a child, you put them on social media. And that's kind of like, I do have an issue with that because he's what, 4 or 5 years old. He can't say, yes, I want to be. He's 5. What the fuck does he know about social media? So that is forever in life on social media. If she felt that strongly about it, absolutely talk about it, but for you, not for him. And to, while your kid is having this meltdown, you pull out your phone to record this meltdown moment. Shouldn't your focus be on calming him down and getting him through this moment, or maybe picking up your shit and fucking leaving? You take this moment, you take this opportunity to record a child having a moment. There's nothing wrong with sharing these experiences, but there's a way to do it carefully and thoughtfully. Clearly she wasn't thinking, because if it's okay to feel this way about it, but your face wasn't on the was it? No, you put your child on there.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's where I do feel like I'm
Mhm.
judging a little bit, sorry, because
Mhm.
you had obviously the baby got an issue. He's a baby. He's like 4 or 5 years old, as far as I can tell. You have the issue with it. Fine. Handle it. Get your child to a better space and place before you pick up a phone so you can record this shit. Now, I can't imagine you was the only person in the room. I can't imagine that the baby's father wasn't in the room either. What was he doing? While you sitting here trying to handle getting this kid to calm down over Christmas gifts.
Um,
Like there's so much more to this than that
yeah.
one little snippet.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say that I was judging, because I'm like, if my baby's having a meltdown, I'm not trying to pick up my phone.
And record it.
Let's get
You're right.
let's get him to feel better. And
You're right.
then you can go ahead and do your vlog diary about this situation that happened over Christmas. That's kind of weird to me. But
You're right.
that's
You're
just
right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Looking at it from that aspect, I can't even argue against that because that's a valid point. As a matter of fact, and not this situation specifically, but there was a TikTok a while ago. This was a while ago where the young lady said, "Listen, if you're that upset, but you got the time to pick up the phone and record it, you're not that upset." And I was like, yep, facts. So, I can definitely see your point and it is more than valid. Um, and I'm in agreement with that. That resonates with me very well, as a matter of fact. Um, but which it kind of leads me back to exactly how I was feeling, as far as I'm almost sure this is not the first time that you realized that your child was being treated differently.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't even have been in that space. And in her defense, she could be doing possibly like some of us do, which I have even been guilty of myself, is expecting it to be better, right? Because sometimes you'll be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they seem to be have been nicer recently, or oh, they're doing this get together for everybody and it's a come together, we can all kumbaya. So maybe in her defense, she was thinking, yeah, this may have happened in the past, um, or sometimes, which I also have been guilty of, sometimes we'll see stuff, but we'll kind of like be in denial about it, be like, yeah, nah, maybe it's me. Maybe this is not what it is. So you just never really know what her thinking was. And on a positive note, she could have been thinking something very positive. She could have been like, yo, there is my kids' grandparents. Everybody gonna be together. Let's do the holidays. And maybe that's where she could have been coming from. Who knows? What I
Mhm.
know is that as soon as I would have caught that vibe, we packing up. Now I don't know the dynamics. Like I don't know if she was in from out of town, if they was in from out of town, where they was staying at. But hey, listen, this might be a real effed up thing to say, but listen, what cheap motel we can find? I know we got some damn cheap motels in the area because we
Motel 6s are great, and they accept
like,
pets.
listen, we packing up. Even if it's my house. Hey, you know what? We'll be back.
Y'all have fun.
Y'all do y'all thing, okay? But I'm gonna get my child out of this toxic situation.
Yeah.
And before we actually uh started recording this episode, you had brought up a really valid point. And it was really a valid point, but the more I watch it, the more I feel like I don't think that's it. Like a lot of people was like, well, he could just be like, a child that is overreacting because he didn't get his way, which could definitely be a possibility,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
we know children will feel some type of way.
Yeah.
But my big thing was not just the mom not removing him from the situation. My other thing was, who would do that to a child? And I'm talking about
Mm.
the other adults. I'm talking about the grandparents, right? And we talked about this. There's a way to handle everything. If we're all together and we're in a group environment, we are not going to do more for one than we do the other. Now, if you want to do some stuff behind the scenes, that's behind the scenes, but not clearly where this poor child can see or feel like they're not as important. And I think that was my beef when I watched it. My beef was like, okay, so you wanted to get this child for whatever reason, uh, a game, right? In front of everybody, knowing that you didn't get everybody, and maybe you couldn't afford to. Okay, fine. But then why do it there in front of everybody? I just feel like they could have handled that
The approach was
way differently.
Yeah, and the approach was it was messed up. And we have, I don't know, it's kind of like we have different relations with different people. And it could have been something where the grandparent was like, if you do X amount of this between the school year, I will get you this for Christmas. There's a bunch of different things that could have went into why the cousins got
Mhm.
thing other than
Maybe they was on the honor roll. Who knows?
right. Or maybe there
Um,
was even like age differences where you're a little bit older. I do think that there's a
yeah,
difference in gifts, that something that you get an older child versus a younger child, because let's be frank, kids break shit all the time.
yeah.
Are you going to spend a lot of money on something that's going to be broken in a week? Hell effing no. And we all know seniors are on fixed incomes and shit like that. So like there's different, it'd be, but the delivery was not okay, because now you have everyone seeing and this baby's having meltdown and all this other shit.
I feel like it was just mean to do that in front of him. Even if it was a reward for an honor roll. Let's
Mhm.
say the kid that was crying wasn't doing good in school. So the grandparents was like, we're not going to buy you that because you didn't do this in school. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it's how you do it is what the difference is. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they could have easily pulled the honor roll student to the side
Yeah.
and been like, "Hey, listen, we heard you did really good in school, so we got this for you." You
Mhm.
know what I mean? But not in front of, if you have 5 grandkids and you're unable to buy all 5 grandkids the same thing, it's fair. It's life, right? Maybe like I was saying earlier, maybe one child deserved it more than the other. You know, you
'Cause
but
they've earned, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
they earned it.
Not because they're
A
being
favoritism.
favored, it's just a matter of
Correct.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it could be favoritism, which is actually the topic, right?
It
It
does happen.
absolutely could be favoritism because
It does happen.
we know that's
Oh.
reality. We know that that's
Mhm.
real shit.
Yeah.
Um, I just thought it was a very mean way to do it. I as a parent and as a my ex-husband's daughter has kids. So, you know,
I gotcha.
a grandparent, right? I just if I can't do it for all of them or dummy it down when we're in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you we laughed and joked about it earlier, but it's like, "You get socks, you get socks, you get socks, you get socks." Imma pull him to the side after everybody leave, and Imma give him this gift for being on the honor roll. "You go, kids, you rock out." But
Yeah.
not in front of everybody,
Yeah.
not to where one is getting socks and the other one pulling out a gaming system, and you're like, "Wait a minute,
Excuse me. I
what?"
mean, and that's true. I mean, for all we know, like that, let's be honest, like, some kids are bratty, some kids are bratty. Let's be frank.
Fact,
And maybe they're
fact.
misbehaving, and grandma's like, well, you've been misbehaving all year. Why should I invest? Because you need to learn a lesson. We're not saying that that's not okay, because sometimes it would require a grandparent or someone other than the parent to recognize that your child is a brat and they need to be taken down a peg or two so they understand that it's not all about them, because it can happen. Now, do it in front of everybody like that? I don't think that's okay. But but is there more to this story? Because I feel like, why would you I don't know, why would you feel the need to do this in front of everybody like that? Like, maybe you're the grandparents doubting the parenting skills and was like, well, since you ain't gonna get it, we gonna teach it. It's a harsh lesson. It's really, really harsh.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't think about that either.
It's really
As a matter of
harsh.
fact, what I thought was, honestly, you know, sometimes when there is favoritism among siblings, that same favoritism can trickle down to the grandkids.
Yeah, it's true.
And so in my mind, I thought maybe that sibling of hers, or maybe she is the wife of,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Because she might not even be the actual child. She just might have married the child that maybe was not favored.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? And maybe that trickled down to uh the grandchild. I mean, we've seen favoritism. I've experienced favoritism. I've seen it like up close and personal, honey. Um,
Mhm.
but again, that's where I would be like, yeah, we out. And you're right. I would not pick up my phone and start recording in the middle of my child's meltdown. But hey, that's her prerogative. And although we can sit on the outside and definitely judge.
I ain't gonna lie. I was like, why are you picking up? I mean, if the
Because
child's meltdown was over a period of time, maybe. But even then, I'm like, so all of y'all just going about your business. Everyone in that room is just going about their business while this child's having a meltdown for a period of time, and no one else is saying shit.
nothing. There was even a guy. It was a grown adult
Sitting there, like,
sitting there.
that was probably the
I
father.
mean, he was chilling.
That's probably the father.
That has dad written all over it. I don't know. I could be wrong.
That had dad written all over it. Like, you can handle this. No,
Like,
you
you
can
got
handle
it, don't
this.
you? You got it? You got it? Okay. I know you
That's
got it.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I have experienced personally, and I have seen in one instance, like with my youngest, that I was like that, and which I won't speak to in depth, but I was like, that's we're gonna put a stop to that shit. That's not happening anymore. And I've not, if nothing else, I am one who sticks to my guns. Pretty. I don't give a shit how it looks on the other end, but if I say it's gonna be XYZ, I've 99.9% of the time I'm holding fast on it. I'm like, I don't give a shit. You can hate me forever. I can be mean auntie, mean whatever the fuck.
Period.
Oh well. So, like, it's there's a reason for it, but like, I've experienced it firsthand. And in one instance, I just feel like it was might have been more situational, but one, like I was telling with our older brother, like I feel like he was our grandmother Cecilia's favorite child. I could be wrong if he listens to this, but she loved him and he loved her. And you can see how special their relationship was, even into her aging. So we have different relationships with each child in our life because of the stages that we were in at that time, because of our proximity to that child. Like you can't tell me that Grandma Cecilia don't love that boy. And I'd be looking at it like, and not out of jealousy. I just knew that she had a different relationship with him. Like he always got to watch baseball. And we'd be sitting up there like, again?
Y you know, I
You still gotta
you
watch
know
this
what?
shit. And we'll be like, okay, let him watch his baseball. And we'd be like, can we just fucking watch Benny Hill or something like that?
You know what came to me just now when you were saying that? It might have been a cultural thing.
That too. Yeah.
That really probably what it was, because at once upon a time, depending on the generation, right? Because remember I told you I had a similar conversation with somebody and I was looking real crazy like, "Wait a minute, only the men?"
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So it might have been a cultural thing, like, the boys were definitely, I feel like, maybe a little bit more catered to,
Mhm.
maybe in that culture or maybe in that generation. Now, in our generation, we looking like, "Yo, if you getting that, I better be getting that too. Don't play. Look,
Yeah. I am of the realm of equality.
listen, we not doing that here. We not doing that. Oh, you taking out the trash? It's okay. You taking out the trash too. Just you
Everyone
know what I
gets a
mean?
turn. You get a trash
Everybody
day.
get a
You
turn.
get a trash day. You get a trash day.
Oh, you get dishes. You
Yeah.
get dishes. You get dishes. And if you make me mad, you get dishes again next week.
For the whole week.
Period.
Fucking with me.
Um, but back then, or maybe the era that she kind of grew up in, it could have very well been cultural. It could have been like boys or are more catered to. And that really could have been a part of that
That's
as
true.
well.
Yeah.
Um,
But I don't know, because
you
you
know?
can, yes, this is true, but you're right, because she did lose all her boy children too pretty early. So maybe she was kind of missing like that piece of motherhood, and that is something to consider. But like a very very special unique relationship, and they won't like, not that I would ever want to interfere. I'm not jealous over it, but like as a kid I do remember thinking like, man, can we just get this TV? And whenever he came over, it was like the room is his, and grandma didn't say otherwise either. But they just had a very special relationship. And I don't know, I can't quite describe it. It's kind of like, but it's kind of like, wait, you had a special relationship with Grandma Agnes. And I don't say this you just had a very different close proximity. She raised you. She was that for person. It's not from a point of like feeling like God, yes, I missed out on it, but it's not like I feel you didn't deserve it, because you did. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes we having individual relations with each child, each grandchild, it can be very, very different. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just how you approach it when we are around others that does make a difference. Because you don't want to single someone out. Even if you feel like a special bond with this child, you don't want to make, and it's not like the kid's not going to know it, by the way, because kids are pretty resourceful. They don't see shit, but you don't have to throw it in their face either. You know?
Ooh,
You ain't got to throw it in their face.
I do want to touch on this just because when you was talking, it really it really did kind of hit me about the deserving portion of it. You know how you was like not saying that you didn't deserve
Because you did. Like, you deserve that
Agnes.
relationship. Like, I'm not saying I didn't either, but we just didn't have that opportunity.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I don't know if it was just deserving. I don't want to make it seem like um I think the way the dynamics of our family was, I just feel like I just happen to be blessed to luck up on it. I don't wanna say luck 'cause I don't wanna make it seem like it was lucky, but I
Oh my
feel
gosh,
very
but you
I really
were.
feel I
Not
really
in from a
feel
jealous
very
way, you were.
fortunate.
Okay, there you go.
I
Fortunate.
really feel very fortunate and really, um, blessed to have had that. I don't know if I would be the same person. Like, I don't know if I would have survived, um, a lot of life if not for that, and I feel like things fall into it's like divine intervention.
Mhm.
Mean?
Yeah.
And then I also feel like it may even be genetics because I feel like you unfortunately was not able to really have that relationship with Agnes, right? But I feel like me and you still kind of think the same. I feel like me and you
Mhm.
still have some of that same moral compass
Yeah.
that sometimes misses um other people.
A whole generation. But I mean, but then also just know like grandparents can't be the same thing for everybody because if you look at just using Agnes as the example, she had a lot of grandbabies
Yeah.
and a whole lot just from one. So it's not like she could be like it's impossible to be that to every one of her grandbabies, and especially when you got a child running around like our father, because just him alone has produced quite a few children, and she had quite a few of her own.
Y-
So you can't be
Yeah,
everything for everybody.
it's true. And something that you said when you said that, just because it's in my mind, I it kind of makes me the way you said it, you can't be everything for everybody, but sometimes you have to know what that specific child needs.
Mhm.
I remember watching this show and it was two sisters, same dad, and the dad used to take the sisters fishing, right? And one sister used to catch the fish and they'll throw it back in. But the other sister, they used to catch the fish and they used to cook it up.
Dinner. Got it.
Camping, this is dinner. And so they were having this discussion about their father. And she was like, "Yeah, he always threw the fish back in." And she was like, "I don't know what you're talking about because we eating that fish. That's some good fish, freshwater fish." But but then the older sister was like, "You know what? Dad knew that you needed him to throw the fish back in."
Mhm. Yeah.
And so maybe that really does lead back to exactly what you said is that we don't know the dynamics of the children and their behavior,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I still feel like regardless of the behavior, it should have been a private thing.
Yeah.
Almost kind of like the relationship with that father and his daughters. Like that was a private thing. When I go out with this daughter, we gonna eat this fish. When I go out with this daughter, we gotta throw this fish back in because I know she ain't gonna be able to handle this, honey. She gonna fall apart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that should have been
I mean,
that could have been a behind the scenes personal relationship, not in front
Mhm.
of everybody for anyone to feel a certain way. I feel like there's other ways to do it. Like if you know that child was acting up in school, you know that child's behavior has been whatever, you know that child is spoiled, right?
Mhm.
We going to teach it to them, but we can teach it to them in a way that's not mean. You can teach a lesson without being cruel.
Mhm.
And I feel like that was mean. I just do. I feel like it was mean. I feel like it was mean. And I don't know behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But looking at that kid, I was
Yeah.
like, "Yo, that's
Because it's just one small snippet
so
of this
sad."
situation. Well, where's the rest of it? Like me, I'm always like, okay, yeah, that's really fucked up. But there's where's the rest of this story? Because
That's true.
there's more to this than just this one moment. And there's no way of telling like what happened after. Like, did the grandparents say, hey, look, yada yada yada? We don't know that part. Did the dad finally get off that fucking chair and be like, because I'm that was giving total dad vibes, I agree with you. And be like, hey, let me try to calm my baby down. You left it to this woman to fucking do it. Maybe she's a single mom, uncle. Even if he was just the uncle, you as an uncle, get your ass up off the chair and help calm this baby down.
You know what? Honest to God, you make me feel like you really may have been right. Because he was so calm and he was so unalarmed by it, maybe it is something that they have seen this child do before. Now, does it
Yeah.
take anything away from the fact that they really could have handled that situation better? No, it really does not. But the fact that everybody else was just business as usual while this
Yes.
kid is like
They're like, do do do
crying,
do.
like everybody is running around, the guy sitting in a chair, he chilling, everything is like going on around them like it's not even happening. So
Yeah.
it does lead me back to maybe what you're saying could definitely be an accurate description. Maybe this kid is really being um spoiled or bratty or whatever. Cuz everybody was too calm about that. Everybody's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh well,
Like, fuck it.
cry on."
You gonna handle that? Cause we ain't. That's so true. Everyone was very much like business as usual. So it might be a regular thing.
Right.
And sometimes as parents, we don't always realize that we are we're caving to the child, like your kid's demand without and doing them more harm than good. Because let's be like,
Enablers,
yes, you don't
right?
want your kid walking around in life feeling like someone owes you something because no one owes you shit. You have to work for it. So it's kind of like, what kind of precedent are you setting that everyone around you felt like, oh well,
He crying again?
damn,
Okay.
we're not catering, you're not giving it to them. I mean, he could be special needs
Not
too.
funny.
I don't know. I didn't grab that from him.
That's possible. You know what? That's a possibility too because
Mm.
I mean, I didn't you're right. I don't think I get that. And the only reason why I say I don't get that is because he clearly said, I'm trying to be grateful. I don't know if a special needs, depending
Mm.
on the level.
Yeah,
Depending on the level now, I am gonna say that. Um, would articulate that portion of it.
that's true.
But in my mind, I do feel like from watching it, and I don't know, maybe it's just me being sensitive because I am a sensitive person. Just seeing this kid like really break down, it did not feel like really spoiled kid to me, in my opinion. Now, maybe the things going on around him might have gave that indication because it seemed like everybody around him was like, "Oh, here you go again." Um,
Yeah.
but to me, he felt genuinely hurt, not spoiled. I feel like there's a difference between genuinely hurt and I didn't get my way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Um, and I
yeah.
feel like he was genuinely hurt. He was genuinely it. This is just me. I could absolutely be wrong, but I felt that boy was in pain. I felt he was truly hurt. Not disappointed, but like hurt. Like, and that's just what I felt. And I could be wrong, because ain't like I
Mhm.
haven't been wrong
Yeah.
before.
I
Um,
don't know. I don't know. I'd have to know the kid more to be like, because you can look at your kids, when they're lying. Like I'd
yeah,
be like,
stop playing.
right.
Stop it.
You
There you
like
go.
this,
You stuttering. You stuttering.
Like,
Spit it
I
out.
don't know him well enough to say, but I mean, kids will throw a great meltdown. They do great. They do a lot of things just for optics. Little kids, they learn that shit really young. And some of them do carry that into adulthood, learning how to manipulate situations and what they will do for optics. So that way, I mean,
Fact.
we help contribute
True.
to that, right? Because if every time you don't get what you want, yes, you could be hurt. I mean, that's a real emotion, but if I go
Was
to
he
the
hurt for the right reason?
whichever the right like if we go to
Right.
Walmart and you want this toy and I tell you no, you start throwing a tantrum, you best believe you might get a whooping in this Walmart. I wouldn't give a shit. Or you might just go to the bathroom and you get your whooping. Just saying. But he could have been something that he had learned as a way to get his way in the end. So like this one little snippet is not like the whole piece of the story, but at the same time, we don't want to forget that favoritism in families absolutely happen. Sometimes for the absolute wrong reason, but it does happen. And it can happen amongst grandparents, parents. Um,
Okay, favoritism in families is when parents consistently treat one child differently, often by giving more praise, resources, or attention, creating a negative impact like sibling resentment, anxiety, low self esteem, and long term relationship problems for all children involved, even if it stems from personality matches or development stages rather than intentional malice. While slight preferences are common, favoritism crosses a line when it leads to neglect, comparison, or conditional love, causing significant emotional damage that persists into adulthood, notes the Survey Center on American Life.
and I have, from the outside looking in, I've kind of seen how I wouldn't even call it favoritism. Like sometimes life happens in a way that bonds people together, that while it bonds people together, it can exclude others. And I've kind of seen that in action and knowing that it was never intentional, but this it still impacts the other siblings. Um,
Mm.
and it's hard to kind of see because sometimes the other siblings they won't acknowledge it, not acknowledge it. They're like they know that it's there, they acknowledge it, but then they don't necessarily speak to how it made them feel. Um,
Mm.
I've seen that outside looking in, and it's hard. It's hard to see. But I from the outside looking in, it could look very different from the person that's living it. But it does suck. It fucking sucks.
Sometimes the age will also determine on the amount of attention,
Mhm. Yeah.
because I feel like as parents, and I'm guilty of this, I can't even lie to you, right? Sometimes you feel like the older kids are more independent, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So because they're more independent, I feel like w- me personally, I'll make an assumption. Oh, they're good. But sometimes I still have to wheel myself back in and ask. You know what I'm saying? Because I try not to assume. And I think sometimes the younger siblings, sometimes they do get a little bit more of, are you okay? Because their age, because they're younger, because they need a little bit more assistance.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be perceived as favoritism when that's not really the case. It's just that this child has a different need
Uh-huh.
versus what you may have. Just like the guy with the
Absolutely.
fish, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're older, you can handle us finishing this on out. You're younger, listen, you're gonna be traumatized. We're just gonna go ahead and throw this thing back in here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and as a matter of fact, this was a recent thing, like recent thing. Um, Something similar was brought up. And, somebody really did clarify it for everybody. They was like, no, 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 there's no favorites here. It's just whoever is the youngest requires more.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it can look like that's the favorite, but it's not what it is. It's just that
They just need
they're
more
the
work.
youngest.
They need more parenting.
They listen, they need a little bit, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" versus the older child that is kinda self-efficient. They gonna be
Yeah.
okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, but after that conversation, it did kinda give a little extra pause, like, "Hey, you know what? You need to start asking more
Yeah.
across the board. Hey, are we all okay?" Because sometimes those independent kids can give you that can give you the indication that they are really independent, and you're like, "Oh, I don't have to worry about them. They're independent." And and it's easy to do unintentionally,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
it depends on,
And
and it does depend on the kid. Like I don't know. But it's true,
it
age does play a factor in how much attention one might get, and it's not because they're favorited, it's a
right.
matter of the need.
Necessity,
Younger
need.
kids need more because you're still raising them up, but the older one, like, this is your time, older ones, this is your time to adulting and make your own decisions because you're working on becoming who it is that you're going to become. Um, absolutely. And not for nothing, but sometimes you do have to let your older kids, like, you do all the parenting that you can while they're coming up. But then your ones, sometimes you just have to let them learn. And while it's the hardest thing you can ever do, there's nothing that you can say to make them not learn the lessons that they have to learn to become fully functioning adults. And it's
Yes.
hard to do, but you just got to let them
Yes. Yes, 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 because
learn.
I was just thinking that as you were talking, sis, I was thinking, sometimes that favoritism can do the child that's more favored a real injustice. When
Mm,
it's intentional and it's malice, like the definition said, right?
yeah,
When it's intentional, it's malice, it's not out of anything other than um like the definition said.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
It's not out of
So
need. It's
right, right, right,
intentional.
right, right. So, sometimes that child that you're giving the the extra to, it's doing them a disservice because those other children are probably I've seen this. I can testify to this that those child that you kinda left out there because you wasn't showing them the extra, the favoritism, they're more independent. They can face this world on a different level versus this child that you catered to and
Yeah,
did everything for, and now they're out here on their own and they are having a hard time
yeah.
figuring it out because you didn't set them up to be able to navigate because they're still waiting on you to come in and do what you have always done. And the sad part with that is if they pass away.
And that, yeah, and that kind of, that makes me wonder, like you say, everyone was in that video, everyone was like business as usual, while this child, and she's like, oh, coddling him. No, sweetie, maybe there's more to it than we
Yeah,
see in this moment, because humble opinion, like,
I
I've
agree.
never had my youngest like fall out over not getting what he wanted for Christmas, or feeling like somebody else got. I mean, I've never seen him fall out over this shit, like, never in life. And our approach is obviously different. Like we talked earlier, like, I'm like, this is the amount. Each of you get this same amount, and you're gonna get a bunch of things with the same amounts. No one's getting more, no one's getting less.
I like that. I think that's a
Um,
really good way to navigate that, especially when it's a blended family as well. Like, that is a awesome way to navigate that. I might actually take that because usually I just be like, "Hey, listen, 3 things." And 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 if one of them ticket items are a really big thing, that might be it,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah,
putting everybody on a specific budget doesn't just make it clear across the board, it also teaches them, um, on a deeper level, and what I mean by that is, if you give this person $150, this person $150, I'm just saying a number, right? This person $150, right? It can make them make the decision of what's more important
yeah,
to them, right?
yeah.
So is it more important for me to spend this whole $150 on this one gift? Or should I break this $150 down and spread it out? So
Yeah,
um it teaches them almost financially,
yeah.
and I like that. I think that's a really good way.
And a lot of times it was based off of like our
That's fair.
financial need, like,
I
yeah,
like it.
financial need. Like, we got this
Right. This
much,
is what you
that's
get.
it.
Listen.
And
You
I
get
never,
$10, you get $10, you get $10. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just saying in general,
it's
it might.
super fair. I've never expressed it to them, like, they know what this budget was because
Right.
I don't believe in, I think you should disclose certain things to your kids, but you don't ever wanna make them feel insecure about finances, household finances, because then that does something to them, right? So I've never kind of said it that way. But and that was my approach. Now, when I became the secondary breadwinner, like we kind of changed it a little bit, but like Q, he approached it very like very evenly, like this is it. Here's some cash. Get what you want. Do you know what I'm saying? But it was very fair. And I don't believe in, like, I do things as your kids get older that you might need to up your budget a little bit because let's be frank, it's a lot more expensive the older you get. Um, but I do think it is unfair to kind of put on display. But I think there's a piece is like everyone's on status quo, like, oh, this is the norms, which means this kind of says there's more to the story than she'd like to portray for the world. Like, which I think is unfair because you decide to portray this story for the world and from your perspective, but showing your child in which is there's something not adding up.
Absolutely. I agree. It's at that child's expense because
Yeah.
that's his breakdown. That is his hurt or however it is that he's feeling. And and I think maybe, and again, I'm just trying to, how they say it, devil's advocate here. Maybe she wasn't thinking along those lines. I mean, a lot of people um post their kids, and maybe it wasn't really anything malicious behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she just wasn't thinking clearly and
Yeah.
you want
She's just
things
like,
clearly.
"Oh," and
And then
I feel bad
sometimes
I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him because I feel like everyone could have handled that situation different. Every single adult that was present during this time could have handled this different,
yeah.
period.
But
The
they could
man
have been, we
sitting in
just
the
don't
chair,
know.
you're right, you don't know what happened behind the scenes once the video was over. And I think there had been a follow-up. I think after she had
Ah,
took the video down, I think there was
okay.
even some responses, um, from other people that was involved, but I don't wanna go off memory because I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't wanna say yay or nay or this person said this. I do know that it was, addressed
Okay. Some of those
by
questions.
by by not just her, but some other people that was involved as well.
They was like,
Um,
no, you
so doing
ain't.
this now, hold up. Um, but at the end of the day, all the adults in that situation definitely could address it, definitely different from that.
Yeah.
Um, including the mom, I would have left, but how somebody handles a situation is how they handle a situation.
Yeah.
Um, I might put it on display for everybody to see, but you're like, ain't nobody see this. Like even prime example, I will here and there, I'll post pictures of the kids and doing stuff, but, you're a little bit more private. So everybody handles everybody does things different. It's not to say what's right or wrong, but when you're looking at this child, that's what I feel like, um,
It's very iffy.
it made everybody kinda, like, voice their opinion. And conversations like this, in my personal opinion, I feel like conversations like this are needed. And I hate that it's at this kid's expense, that's not what I mean, but I feel like conversations, that should be had when it comes to family, when it comes to favoritism, it might even bring up things that you wouldn't even know needed to be addressed. You know
True.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, there is some good in it. Absolutely. It definitely, brings up this narrative that we're having right now. And this subject, like I said, I literally was in a situation where we're having a similar discussion. And, sometimes you need different perspectives, because that's how you grow. That's how you get better. That's how you see things from a different lens. I find a lot of our conversations, I might look at it one way, and then you look at it a different way, and I'm like, it's some type of middle ground, or you might even change how I look at it completely. You know what I'm saying? Or I might change how you look at something completely.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
conversations, especially when it comes to navigating um parenthood, family, the hood. Sometimes these conversations are definitely needed.
I mean, parenthood alone is a
The
beast. Like,
girl, the hood.
there's no, and I know like my level of like I've parented in different stages to for some kids, and then for the youngest, I get the full experience, and then it's kind of like no matter which way you slice it, I just see it like it's not an easy thing. So I hope that this woman has decided to like learn something from this experience on how on so many different levels use this as a learning experience where she can grow from it, and then also pass that on to her child, learning how to grow, because life is full of disappointment. I'd hate like it's so full of disappointment. And this is me not being a pessimist. This is the reality of like this is now I'm not saying good things there isn't a balance, because there absolutely is, but it's kind of like you have to get accustomed and learning how to deal with the disappointments in life, like not falling out because you're disappointed about something. And that starts
Mm.
at this stage, because you can't go through life falling out as a 16-year-old, 25-year-old, 35-year-old because shit's not going your way. This is a learning opportunity for everyone involved. Like, and I'm not, kids are kids, they're gonna do it. You have to teach them, say it often, every time, 100 times, a million times. You're gonna keep saying the same shit. But this is how you give them the opportunity to learn about how to handle disappointment.
I agree.
For both of them. For her, because I can't imagine how many different ways this woman was disappointed. But then also for her child learning how to handle disappointment, because falling out is not the answer, unfortunately.
I agree. I agree. Not only falling out isn't the answer, but promising him something that you're not really for sure if it's in your capability. Because I do see where she was
That's true.
saying, "I'm gonna try to get it online. I'm gonna try to get it online. I'll try to find it online." And I'm not really for sure if that was the answer. I mean, as a parent, you really just try to do your best, and navigating what the right answer is it's easy for someone to sit back and be like, "Oh, yeah, that's," but when you're in the situation and you're trying to navigate seeing your child hurt and disappointed, it's it's a little different. And so I feel this I, like I said, sitting back and looking at it, it's easy for me to say, yeah, this is how I would have did it. This is what I would have saw. This is but I think as a parent, she's probably navigating and doing the best that she can. And
Yeah.
I think that's the part that is important here. And the fact that we're able to discuss these
Mhm.
these feelings, these emotions, uh opening up the narrative
Yeah.
to
Conversation.
commute
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
conversation
Yep.
to communicate to learn, like I said earlier, to learn and kind of grow. I hope that this family as a unit, not just the little boy, the mom, but the grandparents, the other kids, everyone that is involved, um I would hope that this did not I hope they did more good than damage. I hope
Yeah.
in the long run that it opened up and unboxed what needed to be unboxed to get in a better space
Mhm.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Um, so out of all the gifts that they got this day, let's hope that's the biggest gift of all, is that they can see that this is a problem and let's navigate this as a whole together, um,
To do better
to do better. Correct.
as the collective.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely. I agree with
Like,
you.
tell her, "Put the damn camera down, and we'll handle these things differently," or we might handle it the same, but, um, that's what my hope for,
Yeah.
everyone that was present for their family. That's
Tell us what you guys think in the comments. We are totally here for the dialogue and the conversation. So, what would you have done? Now, we both were like, we wouldn't have been there in the first place.
quick. I ain't got no problem eliminating myself from
I-
any situation, and quick. Sometimes I don't even give notice. I Janine, who? That's how fast. Gone. Quick. So, and if you have a family story or personal story that you would like uh to talk about, or even a topic you would like us to talk about,
Mhm.
can always reach out and let us know. You can go to the Ouse Now at gmail.com and send us an Ouse podcast at gmail.com and send us an email. Or you can go right on over there to our website,
Asknow.com.
housenow.com. Girl, I don't know why.
We're like waiting for
Every
it to come
time
across.
I want to put the podcast there. And look, the funny thing is, it's in my face, but I have it written on my sticky notes up here. So instead of me looking here, I'm like, what is it again? It's up there on my sticky note.
Listen, we are women of particular age and we forget shit. Very easy. Very, very easy. Just say it.
Girl, I suck
Very easy.
sometimes. But nonetheless, um, if it's a topic that you would like to share or talk about, a topic that you would like us to talk about, we're here for it. We can't grow without each and every one of y'all, our day ones, our new ousters. So much love. We appreciate
Mhm.
y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please do not forget, this is us. Okay. Go catch up season 1, season 2, season 3, and season 4, and the rest of season 4. And then, of course, this is us shortly after. For now, on YouTube.
Mhm. We'll talk
But
about it offline.
yeah, we are definitely open to suggestions, ideas, and guests. Guests.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But we appreciate you. Thank you so very much for being our continued listener and supporters of this podcast. We are so appreciative for following us through this whole journey into our new projects that we have brought forth. And we truly, truly appreciate you.
With us right now, maybe tears or laughs out loud. Let's make a difference as we speak through conversation for our future and future generations. Let's talk about it all. Let's talk about it Let's talk about